Sie hören Sport und Musik.
Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
Mario Götze! Mario Götze!
Tonight, whether you call it football, or soccer, a German American and a German in America dare to call it Fußball. German foosball from an American point of view. Let's add some buns to that hamburger and join them for the Schnitzel Boys Deutschland Hour.
The Deutschland Hour.
Yeah. And who better to have in the Deutschland Hour than somebody who just came from Deutschland?
Yours
He
truly.
hates the trains. He loves the food and the castles. Castle.
I love a lot about Germany. But you were about to break my heart. What did it say in Kicker about Emma Forsberg not coming here? That's it?
No, it just said that it's not as far along as Bild made it sound.
Yeah,
It could still happen.
He hasn't seen the houses yet, stuff. So we'll see. Maybe he'll decide to stay in Leipzig as opposed to New York City, but we'll see. But we had a lot of big games over the weekend. We got the team of the hour, and Germany itself also has a couple of games coming up, and we've had some cancellations. I saw Chris Führig has an infection or a disease, or he's sick. That's why he had to pull himself out of the camp. And I'll tell you, Bjorn, I am really getting into the Stuttgart team. I've been watching them for a couple weeks now.
Well, Guirassy came back off the bench, right? I thought it sounded like he was going to be out for a while, but he's back.
He's back, baby. He came off. Undov doesn't have to carry the weight anymore. And Stuttgart is just playing some really beautiful soccer. Like, I got a close look at them for the last couple of weeks. They move the ball so well. And Chris Führig, who is a former, Borussia Dortmund and Köln youth player, really found his footing at Stuttgart and is really coming out. It's his coming out party. He is coordinating the offense of that team really well. And I'm really excited about this young player. And by young, he's 25, so he's not super young, but he's new to the German setup. And the German national team needs new blood and needs variety, right? We're looking for it anywhere we can. We have Pascal Gross from England's becoming a bigger deal. Robin Gosens cannot be there because I believe he has a wedding he's attending.
Oh,
yes, I believe that's what I read. And then, but Führig's one of those new players I'm liking. I want to keep an eye on. Unfortunately, he cannot be here this camp, but he's a player to be excited about. I
mean that Dortmund game was more dominant than the results seemed to suggest, I thought.
Yeah, and Stuttgart, I'm going to talk about Stuttgart, we're talking about Dortmund. My thoughts on Dortmund are slowly starting to catch up with them. And that they're not as, again, I hate to attack Terzic, but they're not in the place they're supposed to be. They are underachieving. They have a lot of big players on the books, exciting players. And, they have probably the second most expensive roster in Germany, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're 10 points behind Leverkusen. That's a lot.
It's a lot. That's a lot. Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern München are running away with it. But I guess the talk of the town is Bayer Leverkusen and Xabi Alonso. And Xabi Alonso is the hottest coach in Europe right now. And Bayer Leverkusen, I think, have only dropped a couple of points all season. They've won all the other games.
They only against Bayern.
Right. So they are.
And that they really should have won too that was a little unlucky for them. Yeah, and they plunged poor Union Berlin now into last place after Bochum and Köln played to a 1-1 draw where Bochum had an XG of almost 4. It was like the most frustrating game to watch. I was like, why can't they put it in the... Yeah, it was horrendous. But anyway, I mean, that was a game that really we should have had and we needed to have, and it would have really helped. And that point was disappointing. But anyway, Union Berlin now in the very last 18th and last place.
I know what's going on over there. They need to have a team talk or something. Maybe Leonardo Bonucci was not a blessing in disguise. Maybe he was one too many. I don't know. I'm not
His fault.
I'm just speculating. Yeah, I'm not trying to blame Bonucci. The big thing with Union Berlin, they have a lot of new players, and I guess they're not molding.
It's
Jordan
not working.
Pifok left to go to Gladbach. Undav, I believe, also left to go to Stuttgart. And they're thriving at their new clubs in a way they did not thrive at Union Berlin. And it just seems that the new players at Union Berlin are not clicking. They're just not figuring out. They got a point midweek against Napoli. So they finally got a point, their first point in the Champions League. But they lost to Bayer Leverkusen. What was it? 4-2? No. 4-0. Oh. Got creamed in Leverkusen. So Union Berlin, something's got to give. And I hate to say it. I love the guy, but maybe they need a coaching change.
Gotta fire the coach. I mean, what else are you gonna do, right?
Fire the coach. Gotta fire Urs Fischer to replace with Oliver Glasner.
What else can you do other than firing the coach?
Bochum find themselves at 9 points. 14th spot, respectable spot for them.
Yeah, it's a respectable. That's the thing. We've talked about this before. It's a respectable spot, but it's not really. It's like it's only one. It's all. Everybody's very close together. They're benefiting from other teams being really bad, like Köln and Union Berlin. Union Berlin has lost 11 in a row. And Köln hasn't been good. So. We have one win. One win. That's it. Out of 11 games. There's no
and 6 draws.
There's not a lot to celebrate. Yeah, but draw,
Take it. One draw, one win, 6
This
draws,
would have made a difference. Winning this game was pretty imperative, I thought. And it's really, they're just finding ways to not win. In games that, oftentimes they are obviously by far the worst team in most games. and so in these games where they're at home against one of the few teams that is significantly that is not better than they are, and they generate a bunch of chances, you just got to make it happen. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but anyway, it was a very good European week, though, for the German teams. Even Union, like you were saying, got a point, and everybody else did quite well.
Yeah, Union's bottom of their table.
Union will not advance from their group. It's kind of already almost.
But the other three are looking like, including Dortmund, and Dortmund's the big.
Well, Dortmund ended up in first place with Milan beating PSG. They're now leading the group of death because of their win against. They just have Newcastle's number. They beat them in Newcastle, and they beat them again in Dortmund, and now they have
and then they criticized their ownership, and then the Newcastle fans are very appreciative by how cheap the away tickets were for Dortmund. It was a win for the people, Bjorn. Not only they won in the field twice, it was the People's Club versus the Saudi
versus
PIF.
the now with former People's Club, now Saudi owned, and Leipzig got a win in Belgrade. Bayern beat Galatasaray, and they already won the group.
Manchester United lost to Copenhagen. That was sort of the big result of that day to keep everyone.
Yeah, that was a wild game. Marcus Rashford got a pretty soft red card, and things just really went off the rails for them. It's always fun. It's like Toronto and MLS. It's fun to see Man United struggle.
Yeah. And right now, you know what's funny about Man United? It's clearly not the coach. It hasn't been the coach in 10 years, right? And every 6 months, it's like, time to get a new coach. What's up with this coach, right, guys? It's like you can hire every best coach in the world you want. It clearly isn't the issue. So Eric Ten Hag, there was a source where Eric Ten Hag, Manchester United are denying appointments with agents because they're trying to pitch replacements for Ten Hag, and no. And it's like, it's not Ten Hag. It wasn't Ralf Rangnick. It wasn't Jose Mourinho. It wasn't Louis van Gaal. It wasn't David Moyes. Might have been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was maybe a little out of his depth, but it's not the coach.
I don't know.
Someone else is wrong.
Rangnick did not do well there.
Rangnick is a perfect example of what's going on with Manchester United. They hired him to be the coach for 6 months and to be a consultant for 2 years after that.
Right.
It's like Rangnick's specialty is being a consultant, not a coach. So they hired him to be coach, and they fired him before he could start his consultancy. That's like, and then Ralph Rangnick said, to fix Manchester United, it's not cosmetic, and they need open heart surgery. And it's like, listen to him.
What I would say if you were in.
Yeah, but listen to him. Yes,
all right.
You're like, let's figure it out, but they don't. They're like, no, let's get Erik ten Hag, and I'm gonna fire Erik ten Hag, then we'll hire Xabi Alonso and break him. Xabi Alonso wouldn't do jack at Manchester United. And then, they'd fire him in 6 months. Fool me once, you know what I mean? Manchester United need a football director. They need better owners. There's just a toxic environment going on over there. They need to figure it out.
All right.
You heard it here first.
Write a letter. Anyway, the German teams all did well in Europe this week.
Yes.
Everybody's advancing except Union. Conference, Freiburg had a big win. Leverkusen won again. Everybody's winning. And then once we get to the knockout round, the fantasy will end quickly. But so far, so good.
Well, I know. We'll see. Bayern Munich, Harry Kane is really working, isn't he? Harry Kane is working.
I mean, I kind of thought that he might.
Harry Kane, shut up all the English fans.
Perfect match.
The English experts and the German experts both hated the Harry Kane transfers for two different reasons. The English were like, oh, he's only 3 goals away from breaking Alan Shearer's record or whatever. He's only got 1 year left. Why would he go? What the heck? What's he doing in Bayern? And the Germans are just like, we don't know. He's too old. I don't know. He's too expensive. Anyway, he went to the transfer and he's shutting them all up. He's gonna, he's crushing it here in Germany. He likely will win, one title this year, maybe. Like I said, he's got some titles in his future. And the Germans are like, oh, he's working. They're like, we were wrong on Harry Kane. The dude's crushing it. He's broken Lewandowski's records. He's scored more goals than anybody. He could get Muller and Lewandowski's record this season if he stays healthy and stays focused. So he's the missing puzzle, and Bayern Munich are back to being dangerous. However, it's not super convincing with Bayern, isn't it? We see them play for about 70 minutes before they open up, and
Heidenheim they were up 2-0 against Heidenheim. Heidenheim tied it up. It was a little tense for a second. The Galatasaray game was a little tense for a second. I mean, yeah, they're not like their midfield is a little thin. I think that's they didn't get the transfers that they needed. I think they still need a couple. They need a little bit of midfield help, but yeah, pretty good so far. Yeah, Harry Kane. I mean, it just felt right to me. It just felt right. It just seems like he's a Bayern type guy, like this sort of slightly boring but dependable kind of.
I'm loving the goals he's scoring. Like he's scoring
he's
goals.
Great.
He misses
he's
the first
good.
time he gets his own rebound.
He's part of the build-up. He's part of the build-up. He assists too. He's set up Leroy Sané. Him and the two of them seem to be really getting along. Sané is also enjoying a renaissance of sorts.
Right.
So that's all going well for them.
But you are right. I believe they are missing a holding 6, and that's what they want. That's probably to play exactly the way Tuchel wants. And, we'll see what happens in the winter transfer window if they get an extra player they need.
I think but they'll find somebody.
The results are thumbs up for them. They're going. But as far as the way they play, it's still a little bit of a head scratcher. They're getting their W's. They're playing good full 90s. But, Bayern Munich can play 70 minutes where they're just defending. And all of a sudden they score a goal and they open, they score a few, and that's the end of the game. So it's interesting to watch them play.
So you're of the Lothar Matthäus school of thought. It's not. Things are not all well.
Well, guess. I don't know if I want to call it the Lothar Matthäus School of Thought. Metro Stars legend.
Well,
Lothar Matthäus,
that's what Tuchel said. It's like, what else do you want us to do? We won all of our Champions League games. We only dropped points against Leipzig and Leverkusen in the league. What do you want? But then there's there's all this talk of disconnect and unrest, and they're not convincing. I mean, there's just a certain contingent of Bayern supporters. I mean, you're wearing the shirt that was just never satisfied. It's a little bit like the U.S. men's national team.
Well, you know what? We're a little spoiled because under Jupp Heynckes in 2013, it was the best Bayern Munich I'd ever seen. And we've just never 10 seasons have gone on and we're still chasing that dragon. And
the Hansi Flick era was pretty good. No, he won the
Champions League. The Pep Guardiola era was good. It was good soccer. I don't know. But under Jupp Heynckes, we won the treble. We were pretty freaking invincible. And it was just like we're playing great. So it was just every game was dominant. I believe that was the season we beat Barcelona 8-2, right? In the semis. Like we were just unstoppable. Maybe not that season, but overall Bayern was just a freight train. And we're just still not that freight train we once were. But the W's are still coming. The results are still there. We're not on track to win the treble, obviously, as we've been eliminated by Saarbrücken, which may be what is like an example of the type of faults that Bayern's ignoring right now. But as far as Champions League and Bundesliga, we're still on track. We're right behind Bayer Leverkusen. But the big problem with Bayer Leverkusen, and I've alluded to this before, is they're going to lose a lot of players in February for 5 match days because of the African Cup of Nations. So the second half of the season is going to be more challenging for them.
Harry Kane will be there.
Harry Kane will still be there, but Guirassy will be, I believe, in Africa, right? Or no? Does he play for an Africa? He plays for, I think he's French, but hold on, let me get this right. Guirassy played. No, he plays for Guinea. He is French youth. But he now plays for Guinea, and he'll be at the African Cup of Nations with the Guinea national team. Right? Yeah. National team. Yeah. Yeah, I believe that is expected. Okay. So but through to the end of Christmas, Bayer Leverkusen can still be the Herbstmeister. And we have ourselves a little 2-horse race, don't we, Bjorn?
Yeah, Leverkusen's been unstoppable so far.
100%.
It's a title race. But I mean, we've said this before. It's like Bayern. I said at the beginning of the season, it's going to be Bayern until proven otherwise. I will not believe that Bayern will not win until I see another team lift the Schale, die Meisterschale.
Die Meisterschale.
Yeah.
We've had plenty of other Herbstmeisters over the last 11 seasons.
Yeah,
we've only had one Meistermeister. We've only had one Meistermeister. That's
and we're still a few games from even that. Like it's still 6 games to go before that even happens. So, but yeah, it's exciting. Leverkusen looking great. Xabi Alonso's killing it. Florian Wirtz is after some injury detours seems to be again the up and coming talent that he was always thought to be.
Correction, Victor Boniface, who plays for Nigeria, who plays for Bayer Leverkusen.
Oh, he's gonna.
I mixed up with Guirassy from Stuttgart. Sorry, that could also be a thing for Stuttgart. But the Victor Boniface is going to be playing, I believe, for Nigeria.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's going to have an impact. But they have other.
But anyhow, okay.
So
Germany's got Turkey and Austria. Is that correct? Who do they got?
Oh, this is for the international break. I mean, it's all friendlies.
Yeah, but that's all Germany's got. That's all Germany's got. Every friendly for them.
Yeah.
They got this new coach. They got
Julian Nagelsmann.
You were there for the first batch of the 2.
I was. It was good.
I'd give him an A-, maybe a B+ for that because they tied Mexico.
A-.
Well, it was 2-2 against Mexico and Philly. That wasn't amazing.
It was a big. It was a big step up. I mean, it really was a big step up. But Nico Schlotterbeck is again not in the squad. Even though he's been quite good, I thought, in Dortmund. He had especially in the Champions League, and but he Nagelsmann is not into him, and Emre Can is also not in the squad, and nor is Marius Wolf. So there are some big play who are like kind of regulars under Flick are not around anymore. So there's a little that may be, I don't know, that may be permanent.
Mats Hummels is still there though.
Yeah.
Nicolas Zula, I believe, is involved. Or am I wrong? Nicolas Zula is there.
Yeah, he's there.
He's there. Let me look at this roster here. Like I said, I was really excited about Felix, but he was gone because of a disease, I believe, or he's sick. You know, I don't want to make it seem like he's a terrible disease.
It's a disease.
He
has a disease. He's ill.
The article said he had an infection or something like that. I read it in Germany, so my translation's not the best. But and then we've got where's this roster here? Germany roster. See if there's any newbies.
There was one. There was one more. What's his name?
You vamped. I'm gonna try to find this Rob. But Marvin Duksch is involved.
Well, he's been around. Grisha Prömmel.
Where's he from?
Of Hoffenheim.
Okay, good for him.
He is new.
Are you sure Marvin Duksch has been around? Are you sure?
And I think so. He's been in the squad previously. Nagelsmann knows Prömmel from a junior team that he coached many years ago, and I guess Prömmel then had a hard time. He was a very promising youth player. He didn't become a professional right away, and it took a little while. And now he is in the national team, and he's excited. He's excited about that.
He must be a replacement then, because I don't see him here listed on the November 10th release. Is he a replacement?
I think so. Yeah, I think him and Oliver Baumann were the late nominees. Yeah.
I guess he's probably replacing Felix then.
Yeah.
The DFB team thingy thing. Yeah.
And the other guy who is new is Blaswich, the RB Leipzig
keeper, which is very interesting because he's just a replacement for an injured Gulashi.
And now he's in the national team. Jonathan Tah is back. He was the most problematic in my opinion of the recent window. So yeah, anyway, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Kai Havertz is back. He's still struggling at Arsenal. Can't hit the broadside of a barn. But Marvin Duksch is filling in up top, I guess.
Yeah, Grisha Prömmel is replacing Felix Nemeka, who had to pull out because of I guess a problem in Hüftbereich. That's a
hip issue. He has a hip issue.
A hip issue. Well, I'm excited to see.
Have we lost Stefan, or have I lost Stefan? Hello, are we frozen? Is it me or is it you? Oh, I guess he just disconnected himself. He gone. All right, Tom. Thank you for letting me know. I wasn't sure if it was me or him. So I'm the only one left here. Let's see if we'll give him a couple minutes to see if he can recover. Other than that, maybe I don't have much. I don't have much else. I don't have much else to say about this squad. We have Austria and Turkey, as we said, 2 friendlies. The Nagelsmann era continues, but I'm texting with Stefan. Am I still in it? Yes, I'm still yakking it up here. Yeah, I think we're going to get him back in a minute. Here he is.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Tom.
that was crazy. You were frozen.
Yeah,
Tom had to tell. I wasn't sure if it was me or you, but Tom told me.
Yeah, it's me, right?
Gone.
Yeah, I kept seeing
Tom said he gone.
I kept seeing you, like I was talking the whole time, but no one was responding to me.
Right. I also Tom is asking me a question.
Right.
Thank you for that, because I had nothing to say. We were also kind of
essentially the end of the show. Yeah.
I mean, we're sort of done, right? So
okay, let's answer Tom's question. Let's get out of here. Tom, do you feel Nagelsmann's doing a good job? I mean, it's only been 2 games so far, but I do like the new variety of different players being picked. To me, it's a big plus. Yeah. We've had an issue in the past, which just been a bunch of Bayern and Dortmund players. And you know what? There's other players, right? Let's look at the variety of who we got in the national setup. And I think he's doing a pretty good job being creative with that. Now, granted, Mats Hummel's still involved, right? So it's like some of the old heads are still involved. But, Muller is still involved, right? He's a come off the bench type of guy. Although I do believe his role is pretty well defined now.
I don't know how much of it was based on me being there live and being excited to see it in person, but I thought it was the US game was very good. I thought there was just a different emphasis on forward passing versus lateral passing. I think it was a lot more kind of proactive. The midfield was well set up, and I thought it was pretty convincing, that first game. And in the Mexico game too, Mexico did a slightly better job of pushing the midfield back and not having them press as high. So we'll see how it goes. But I think the right back position is still a little bit of a question mark for me. But in general, and we also, I think the team is better without Kimmich. I mean, in a way, right? In a way, these days, it seems like him not being there because he was sick, I guess, or injured, and I think that was maybe an addition by subtraction. We'll see how he fits in, but I'm optimistic. I thought it was pretty convincing. Yeah, the Kimmich and Goretzka thing. Everyone's got their eye on that. How effective are they really? You know what I mean? So yeah. Gundogan, I mean, it's just obvious. Gundogan needs to have the keys to the car. I mean, certainly until next summer, he has to run the show, and so everybody else has to arrange themselves around him. And that was, I think, one of the weaknesses of Flick's system. He never really found a place for him. He always had like Kimmich, his Bayern guys first, and then Gundogan had to fit in wherever. And so I think that's changing, and that's for the best. Amen, brother. Yeah, I'm liking it. This next game's against Turkey and Austria, 2 good friends. One friends, Austria. One a geographical neighbor, the other a cultural neighbor, right? Austria is not. I don't think. Two good frenemies. If they would be happy if we lost every game. Well, frenemy. I mean, the Turkey, Germany, Turkey has Germany, Turkey. USA, I mean, Mexico, obviously, culturally, there are a lot of connections, but I don't think, in terms of soccer, is there any? I can't remember a single. No, but I'm saying just in terms of a rivalry between the countries. I can't remember a single.
they're just buds. That's what I'm saying. Like Stefan Kuntz was a lot of Germans go there.
Yeah,
lot of
there's a
Germans come
there's a
here.
cultural. I mean, obviously, there's a lot
Connection.
of immigration. Yeah, so there's a lot of connection that way, but it's not a real rivalry between those two teams. Whereas Germany, Austria has a pretty there's some gems in that history. I mean, 1978, that's a very, I mean, obviously I'm dating myself here as an old guy, but that's like one of my first World Cup memories is Germany losing to Austria in 1978 and the Austrian commentator like just going nuts.
But honestly,
because for them winning, and then there was 1982, there was that scandalous like
Battle of Gijón, I believe,
borderline collusion between the two of them that led to a rule change.
Total collusion
for the World Cup.
Borderline.
Well, I mean collusion in the sense that I don't think they got together and worked this out ahead of time, but
yes,
I think it just
before the game they made an agreement. I thought that's what happened.
Is that what happened? Do we know this?
I mean, I wasn't there, but like Germany scored a goal 10 minutes in and just been
and then after minutes, and the math was that if that result would hold, both of them would advance, and then they just kind of kick the ball back and forth for the rest of the game.
Yeah, but since then, what meaningful match have they had? I remember they played at Euro 2008.
They played a quali, yeah.
No, that's it. But those, I don't know.
That's it. But those two games are seared into my childhood memory.
True.
But I mean, that was a long time ago. I mean, fair play.
Austria has a German coach now in Ralf Rangnick.
Ralf Rangnick coaches Austria?
Yeah, you didn't know that? It was his job after Manchester United. They're playing really well under him.
It's pretty sad for him.
Well, anyway, I will be watching those games with interest.
All right.
And I hope our boys play well with variety. Like you said, good direct forward passing, fast playing. Nicholas Füllkrug's coming into his own as a nice.
He's got to be the 9 too. He's got to be written in. He's been crushing it for the.
He's been scoring. Team. It's not a fluke. The dude's he's the German Chris Wondolowski.
Oh my God! You jinxed it. Oh.
Hey, Wando's a legend. Wando's a legend. He wasn't a great player.
He's not a national team legend. He's an MLS legend.
True. He did have that big mess against Belgium. However, Wando wasn't a goal scorer
as opposed to
29.
What? He's what?
The thing with Wando is he was an obscure player until he was 29. Then he became the super scorer.
But Füllkrug's the opposite. He's been strong. He has not scored a lot for Dortmund. He's been struggling a little bit in the league. But he has been crushing it for the national team.
Well, good.
He's a little bit like Klose. He's a little bit like Klose in that sense. Klose was always first guy on the team sheet for the national team, even when he was struggling to or in Italy too. He was for a time wasn't necessarily.
Lazio, I think, right?
Yeah,
but
the German Wando is not that is a curse. That's not a.
There's Wando. Well, Wondolowski, right? That's a very Ruhrgebiet Polish-German name, right?
You think we should see if he's still eligible to play for Germany? Bring him back.
Christoph Wondolowski. Yeah, I mean he scored.
Christoph Wondolowski.
Christoph Wondolowski. He's right there. He's good friends with Szymanski. What's his name? What was Szymanski's first name?
Szymanski. Oh my God. Stefan?
Pavel?
Stefan? I don't know.
Yeah, it better be Stefan. It's a good name.
I don't know. What is his...
Another cool thing
Szymanski, now you Google Szymanski, it brings up the Greenpoint Club. It doesn't bring up the...
Call the club, ask him what his first name was. Now,
Horst, of course, Horst
Szymanski.
Horst Szymanski. How could I forget?
And his good friend Christoph Wondolowski. You know what? Another thing I did while I was in Germany, because the Germany hour, we got a couple minutes. I went to the movies, and not one, but 2 Wim Wenders movies were playing. New ones, both from 2023. I'm just like, Wim Wenders is still making movies. I went and I watched a documentary on Anselm Kiefer. You know who that is?
Oh, yeah, painter. How was that?
It was very, very cool. I
think this was Wim Wenders made this?
A Wim Wenders documentary in 3D.
I enjoy. In recent years, I've enjoyed his documentaries more than his features. He made one a long time ago about Yoshi Yamamoto that was good, and then he made one about Pina Bausch that was very good, I thought.
Well, you're gonna love this one because it's typical
right.
Vin Vendor style. There's no VO. It's not like I knew it would be an art housey style doco, and it was. There's no VO. All the speaking comes from Anzo Kiefer or old interviews they clip in.
Oh, very good.
And then other than that, just follows him and his work. And kind of going back to what you were saying, his big thing was all his art was related to the fallout of World War II in German society that no one was talking about. He was the only one. He's like, screw it. It's all I care about right now. And he just committed his life to doing that. And stirred the pot. And for a guy like me, a young American like me, getting in touch with German culture, it was a very cool educational experience. And it was 3D. So you put your goggles on, and it shows you all his work and all like it goes into it. It's very cool. And I do love Vim Vendors. The City of Angels. No, what was it called? The one with Angels, one of my favorite movies. Great movie.
Wings of Desire.
Wings of Desire.
I don't know. Have you tried again recently? I tried to rewatch that. I thought it was pretty unwatchable. Oh, okay.
I've only seen it recently. And by that, I mean within 5 years. Like I wasn't around when I was a kid.
No, I liked it a lot when it came out. And then a couple years ago, I tried again. Was like, oof, okay. Maybe I'll give it another shot.
I watched the Nicolas Cage version first. They made
yeah. Which I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It's a fun rom-com. But then I saw it was based in a German movie. So I saw the German movie, and I was like, oh, this is A Horse of Different Color. This is intense. With Peter Falk. And but I really enjoyed it. I really liked it.
Yeah, Nick Cave is in it. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. No, it's good. It's I enjoyed Paris, Texas a lot. Like that was the first Wim Wenders movie I ever saw when I was a youth, and it was kind of eye-opening in terms of like I didn't know they made movies like that.
Yeah,
cool.
I need to go. I don't know because he also made one. He made a bunch in America in the 70s. He made one in New York too, didn't he? I need to go under a Wim Wenders kick because I've done it before. But yeah, and the other thing, and get this. So when I went to Germany, I bought 2 movies via DVD. And when they both arrived, I realized they're both the same director. So without knowing, I'm like, oh, look at this. I'm a big fan of Zonke Wortmann.
Oh, Zonke Wortmann, sure. Yeah. I know what that is. Yeah.
I watched Kleine Haie for the first time last week, which is his big coming out movie. A great movie.
Yeah, those are funny. Yeah, those are that's it's funny.
Very good movie. And then the other movie I saw was Deutschland ein Sommermärchen, which I've seen before.
Yeah, about the World Cup. Yeah.
Which is the best German World Cup documentary that I've seen so far. Although the one the Qatar one was pretty interesting. But so it's like cool. Now I'm going to go down a Zonke Wortmann kick too.
Yeah, they can't go wrong. I think with most of this stuff.
What would you, if I watched Little Haya, what would be the next thing I should watch? Do you think?
Oh my god, I can't remember. What was that called? The one with I gotta look it up.
I do remember the punk movie you told me. I did find that online. I still have to watch it, but I did find a copy of it. That it was like Angelina or something. What was that name again? No, it was that punk movie from the 80s.
Punk movie from the 80s?
You told me to watch it. It was I forgot what it was called. I have it written down somewhere. Angelina? Does that ring a bell?
That does not ring a bell.
It's like an 80s movie about Berlin. A party monsters. I don't remember. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I remember we were talking. You recommended it to me.
It was this musical about the train. Oh yeah, Linie 1.
That is on my list, but I think there was something else, wasn't there?
There's something else. I don't know. Perhaps.
Maybe it is Linie 1.
Well, he made a movie about the 1954 World Cup too. The Miracle of Bern.
That's Wunder von Bern. I've seen that. That's a really good movie.
That's very good. I also enjoyed Der bewegte Mann when that came out.
That I don't think I've seen yet.
That's it's a little silly. I don't know if it translates, but I thought that was pretty funny at the time. And das Super Vibe
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
also was funny, I thought. Yeah.
Oh, the
Those are
next
my
one I wanted to see was
recommendations.
the Hollywood side. Tom Berenger's in it. That'll be interesting.
Oh,
But
I
yeah,
haven't
Deutschland
seen it.
Zaubermärchen, if you haven't seen it, check it out.
Yep.
And then he also did the How About Adolf? Was that the one with the dude walking around?
I don't
Oh
remember.
no, this is a different one. Anyway, that's been the German Cultural Hour. We got new tips, new movies. So what do we watch? If you're at home, watch Little Sharks, kind of high if you haven't seen it. It's around there somewhere. It might be hard to find. But it's a fun little comedy movie about 3 young little German whippersnappers making their way down south of Germany.
This is not Sönke Wortmann. You ever see Run Lola Run? That's a good one.
Yeah. Tom Tikva, big Tom Tikva.
Yeah.
That was probably the first German movie I kind of saw. That wasn't like an old black and white comedy movie my dad watched.
It's fun. It's good.
It's a good movie. Tom Tikva, he went on to direct some American movies, but he went on to become more of a producer. I think
we're not all that good. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say Golden Compass is his, right? Or something like that.
I never saw that.
But Run Lola Run, excellent movie. All about it. All about it.
Excellent. Play the guitar.
Is that a movie?
No, the outro.
Oh, that's on me. That's right. I confused. I thought it's like another German thing. What's playing the guitar? That 100% sounds. And 100% sounds like a
Play the guitar.
A Wim Wenders documentary about like a Spanish guitar player.
Oh, that's nice too. What do we got here?
Change it up.
Oh, I like it.
German.
The Monday night mood. Yeah. Oh, maybe I will get a cocktail or something when we're done here.
All right, everybody. That's been the Germany Hour. Go check out your Tom Tikva, your Sönke Wortmann, your Wim Wenders. What else? Another German.
Very different, those 3.
Well,
you're lumping them together, but yeah, quite different.
Just German language filmmakers, all I'm saying. You know,
all right.
Stuff you don't find in American theaters. Not much. All right. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. There is another German movie. I should say, the whole time I was in Germany, the Caspar David Friedrich painting was in my head. The Wanderer and Look Over the Mountains.
Yeah.
Last day, I left a day before a new German movie that was released, where the poster was an homage to that painting, and it's about a German dude wandering around Germany. Anyway.
Oh.
So that's a movie on my list. I'll update you guys next week on what that movie is. And
all right.
It's playing here in LA. All right. Cheers, everybody. Rate and review and subscribe.
Cheers.
Our shop is alive, and we got mugs and whatnot.
Bye. Good night.